With us tonight is Emanuella Grinberg. She's a producer with our sister network, Court TV, and she was part of a small group of reporters who went inside Marjory Stoneman Douglas today. Emanuella, when you walked through the doors, what did you see and hear?
Well, the first thing I was really struck by was the glass crunching underneath my feet. We had been warned, we were offered booties to wear over our feet and our shoes if we wanted to, just because we knew there would be broken glass. But I declined, and I was just overwhelmed by just the size and the loud crunching noise. And of course, those were, glass from the classroom doors that had been shot out. And then just instantly, just seeing, blood spatter everywhere on the floors, seeing the gunshot holes in the walls of the classroom, and even just in the windows of the hallways. It was basically everything we had been prepared for through the video and the photographs, but truly, I guess nothing can really prepare you for real life.
I was reading one account from the notes that came from your visit, just that, Joaquin, for instance, I've had both of his parents on the show, and that he'd been shot in the hallway. The rest of his friends were able to run away, but he was shot. So he was stuck. And there's this description of him by this water fountain, and there's a giant pool of blood, and there's a crushed Valentine's Day card that probably where his body was, and they know that he was alive after he was shot. And I just, you try to think back to those moments. These families are not going to enter this place. Investigators haven't been back since, and the public's never going to enter. What is it like to be one of the few people who are there to bear witness to history of a place that's sealed and will eventually be pulverized?
I mean, it feels like a very solemn task, and that's why you feel a lot of pressure when you're in there, again, to take in everything. And, we couldn't bring in cameras or even phones to take photos or jot down, just jot down notes. I mean, all we had was pen and paper. It's just kind of an overwhelming feeling of knowing that you will probably be the last person, one of the last people to step foot in this place. And then it'll just be lost to history. But frankly, that's really what people want at this point. We understand from the community.
The final thing in that record that I was mentioning is the teacher's lounge. And in it, there is a sign that talks about how you identify a student who might be in distress and who to call if you believe there's a problem. Clearly, this young man had a whole host of problems. I don't know, that ending point kind of stuck with me. What do you think will stick with you?
I was surprised. I guess I wasn't expecting to be as stunned for the sense and the extent to which this had been so long ago. And when you saw all those posters, all those Valentine's Day gifts, they're just covered in, they're covered in a thick layer of dust. They are, there was a cup like a plastic, coffee cup. The liquid was like goo. And you just think, wow, a lot of time has passed since this happened. And it's all just been for this day. And that in itself is a very, there's no words for it almost. And, you hear that phrase a lot. Can't describe it. There's no words for it. But it doesn't feel like such a cliche when you're there and you're experiencing it.
Yeah, but you guys have done your best to record it so that the public really can understand. I guess the final thing I'd ask is that you mentioned that even the clear plastic cup with what is now sludge in it has been preserved for today. Do we know how the jurors took this in?
The only hint we have is that as they were getting off the vans and entering the building, the pool photographer did notice one of the jurors put their arm around another. So take that for what it's worth, but you could see over the days of the past few days, as we've heard more victim impact testimony, the jury has been really stoic up until this point. No real reactions, no visible reaction, to any of the testimony. Even some of the videos, they've seen videos from inside these hallways. They've seen photos of basically of the bodies in these hallways and in these classrooms. But it's really just been over these past few days with the victim impact testimony, from the families, this heartbreaking testimony about the lasting impact of this tragedy on their lives, is where you started to see the jurors starting to show more emotion and, crying at some point, sobbing, judge calling breaks for that reason. So it's hard to imagine that this will not impact them.
Yeah. Emanuella Grinberg with Court TV. I know that today was not an easy day by any stretch, but it's really important. Thank you very much, and I hope you guys are taking care of yourselves.
Thank you.